Welcome everybody to another episode of Uneducated MMA. I'm your host with the most, Wonder Bread.
Hell yeah.
Glad to be back with, of course, the BMF Champion of the world, REG. Man, it's been a minute since I've done that. Yeah, sorry for the little hiatus, guys. You know, we've been gone for a little bit, but, you know, we back. You know, a couple vacations had to be taken, some R&R, a little rest and relaxation, you know what I mean?
This is when everybody takes their little break.
I feel like it. Honestly, I feel bad. I probably should have given a little heads up and done like hey, we're going to take a break for a little bit, guys. But, yeah, a lot of stuff happened. But
we gave them a International Fight Week, right?
We did. We did the summer breakdown to kind of cover some of the empty space. But, like, for sure, I feel like maybe we should have left a note. But it's fine. You got the social medias. You see I'm still posting stuff even when I'm on my travels and whatnot. A lot of stuff we got to cover. I'm not going to lie to you.
A lot of things happen.
I feel like there's like a lot of space in the middle we got to kind of touch on before we start getting into the nitty-gritty of what's coming up. So I feel like first things first, I got to bring it up because, man, it's been on my mind since it happened. Uneducated Poirier beat Charles Oliveira.
Yeah. That's crazy that we haven't covered that.
We haven't. That's how long it's been. Like, I mean,
wow.
It doesn't feel like it's been like, I feel like a super long time, but a lot of stuff has happened.
That one feels good for the one reason that it's the only one of my favorite fighters that has actually won.
Got you.
I've lost every prediction for the past.
At my expense, though. I just want you to know it's at my expense.
I know. I see Vic at the gym, and he was talking about how disappointed he was with Charles. I know. I was just like, I know, my bad, bro.
We were all geeked up. We were like, our boy Charles got this easy, smooth, and then in comes Uneducated Poirier to ruin everyone's parade, bro.
He must have hands of
Apparently, he's one of the hardest hitters people have seen so far. I don't know, man. I think what it is that like he's very calculated in the way he approaches the fights, and he obviously knows the thing I've heard him say. It's the combinations. People may do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, but he's hitting you with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, he's coming at you.
You think he's done after that first 1, 2, and it's like
he digs in the pocket. He stands there and he trades, and he's not afraid to get hit to be able to give you that knockout punch. Yeah. So kudos to him, man. Like I said before this fight even happened, you gotta respect him.
You gotta.
As much as I'm like he is Thanos and he's taken out like all of my favorite fighters so far, you gotta respect the hustle, man. Now you want to see nothing but greatness from him.
I know, and everybody was like joking how small he was and like going up to the new weight class.
Yeah,
and, I seen that meme of like Oliveira picking him up like a kid.
You sent me. I think it was either you sent me or you definitely brought it up where it was like the photo of him versus next to like Charles or him with Rosas Jr. And then it was just like, well, if Charles is bigger than him and then he's bigger than him, he's going to be a huge size difference. Yeah. And for the most part, it was. Charles was a taller guy, but I'd say like on that scale when they stepped into that cage, like he looked like he fit the role of a 55-pounder, maybe even a little heavier, low key, like. Right. People are talking about now him going up to 170 to fight Islam and this on the third.
I don't want that.
People get excited for sure. I think it'd be intriguing to see, but I just want him to. I want Ilya to settle in for a bit and just kind of like reign for a bit, and also see like some cool matchups. I feel like he'd have at 155. There's a lot of moving pieces with that victory now because like beforehand, I know that we were talking about it. We're like, yo, this is legacy right here. He's building like some crazy like. Name count getting to this point where you can put him on as a GOAT without the title defenses and everything that come with it. But at the same time, you're like, I feel like he doesn't have a lot of fights left for the way he's like speaking on the things he wants to do.
I know.
So I'm intrigued to see what his next moves are, man.
Like
I don't know.
Out. He just wants to get legendary status and get out
of there. I mean, you got to think about it. He's already planning on doing like movies and things like that. He's come out with like documentaries on his own life and such. So like, you know, I think at this point he's trying to take the fame and
I'm
the
trying to watch
clout.
That.
Yeah, I know, right? I feel like it'd be good. Like I said, he turned this all into fans.
He really did. Like
as much as you're upset and you're sitting there trying to pull, you know, the barrel out of your mouth. Like I feel like you're like, this guy is.
It's the character.
It's hard not to like.
It's not only like the fighter.
It's the confidence, bro.
Yeah.
The fact that he's like, I'm going to do this, and he does that, it's nuts.
I like the respect he showed Charles Oliveira.
For sure. Even before the fight, he's like, I'm sorry I have to do this. Who says that, bro?
Yeah.
Who says? I think I said the meme where it's like the Key and Peele skit where it's like, I'm going to knock his ass out round 1, bitch. And then the other guy's like, I will take his soul from his body. You're like, what are you talking about, bro? Is this guy actually crazy? Who set this up this fight, bro? Yeah. It's like that where he just speaks into like existence what's going to happen. And it's with such calm confidence. You're like, I believe it.
But that's like the always in life, right? In general, that's kind of is the formula of manifestation.
It is.
You got to speak it into existence.
It's like speaking it, but also like putting the effort in behind it too. Because he's not just talking out of his mouth. Like the dude has like his own hyperbolic or whatever chamber inside of his house. You know what I mean? He's setting himself up for success.
Bro, did you see they celebrated the victory before the fight?
Yeah, that's
crazy.
I felt a little weird about that, but a part of me also kind of understands the like, if this. Regardless of the outcome, I'm proud of all the work and everything that everybody has put in to get to this point. I understand celebrating that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to be careful because you're fighting the next day. But for the most part, I do kind of get that to an extent. I don't know. He was like, we already got this dub, baby. Like, I feel like that's a little bit too much. But
celebrations like, yo, we won.
I know.
Everybody just It
was definitely something to watch. You're like, man, I hope Charles just knocks this dude out. But then afterwards, you're like, yo, honestly, it's pretty fly. He did that. It's weird how quickly you turn. Like I had such like strong opinions, and then I feel like as he just kept moving, after he knocked out Max, that's when I was like, can't beat him, join him.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, can't beat him, join him. And it is what it is, bro. You got to respect the hustle. You got to respect this game. He's managed to do some crazy stuff. 145 champ, 155 champ, knocked out 3 of the fan favorites of the last like 5 years.
And it's the style too. I'm a big fan of boxing. Not necessarily boxing, the sport.
It's weird how that works, right?
Yeah, right?
I feel like I bring it up all the time. Justin isn't here, by the way. He's off fighting who knows what unnamed villains. Now, actually, he told me before I came here, he's like, yo, my bad, I'm not going to be on the pod. I got to take a train to Metropolis. Some dude in a red cape needs assistance. He's getting his ass whooped. I don't know what that means, but he's up to something. I'm going to let him rock. We'll see him later, though.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. But I was talking to Justin about it, where it's like he's not the biggest boxing fan. I'm not going to make it sound like Justin's this savant, but at the same time, he's the one that's been trying to get me to get into it. And I'm like, nah, I don't care. But then I watch UFC fights where they're like standing and cracking and they're like, it's like good boxing for MMA, I guess you could say. And I'm like, yo, this is fire.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I guess maybe it's because you're waiting for the threat of like a takedown or a head kick or something.
I think how long the rounds, there's way more rounds in boxing.
There is.
So they're a little bit more patient in the beginning. And it could get a little like, I don't know. The UFC's 3-5 rounds. They really gonna scrap.
They're really gonna scrap. Even if it's 5-minute rounds, it's still they're gonna scrap because they know like depending on the fighter, it's different vibes going into that octagon. Some are really like you can tell their gas tank is built for 3. Yeah. Unfortunately, they found themselves in a 5-round fight, but they're meant to be in a 3-round fight. So they're gonna try to knock your head off. And if you survive, fantastic. Then you have a better chance. If you don't, boy, you are in for a rude awakening. And I feel like I don't want to say that that's Ilya because I've seen him hold his own going into some later rounds, but for the most part, like I don't think he's had to make it to a round 5 in a while. If I'm remembering correctly, I feel like he's managed to get people out by at least round 3, at the most round 3.
Wasn't I forget the stat? I think it was like 6 rounds altogether.
Dude's a beast, bro.
Like,
Dude's a beast. I mean, if you were to like count like his ring time, then it's probably less than that. He's a beast, bro. Like you said, he hits hard. He just stands in that pocket and he trades.
And his wrestling, he went to the ground too that fight.
He did. Yeah. He showed he's not afraid. He's not scared.
Not at all. Jeez.
That's a part of it. Is that I wouldn't say that like I think he's well-rounded enough where he's confident in his ability. Now, I'm not saying he's unbeatable. I definitely think there's people out there that can get him. And obviously in this sport, you zig, you should have zagged, you get clipped, stuff happens. But he's definitely confident enough in all aspects where he's like, I'm okay to go there. I'm okay. If you want to go to the ground and you want to try to submit me, I'm gonna submit you.
He tried to.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of those things. I think he's also like a part of the confidence and the cocky is now becoming like you when we play the UFC 5 games and stuff, and they're like, "Yo, predict how you're gonna win the fight." Like he's gonna be like round 3 submission.
Yeah,
and it will happen.
I'm always at round 1 knockout.
Yeah. And it's upsetting when you're in the last like minute and a half. You're like, I need to get this guy. You're stressing for time.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued to see what happens with Ilya going forward. That was just something I had to bring up off top. And then going off of that, also just to kind of cover a couple other things that happened in between. Khalil Roundtree beat Jamal Hill. I don't think we did a thing for that.
We didn't mention that. No.
I'm trying to think of the dates. How long I've been gone. I feel like I've been gone for a minute.
Jamal Hill looked like a regular human being again.
He did. He's got to take some time. I think for him it's physical and mental. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I feel weird because it's always like you don't want to judge people and whatnot. But at this point, I think Jamal Hill should be at 185.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I think at 205, like physically, he's got a lot of power, and I think that'll stay with him. But I think if he needs to be a little bit more disciplined or come back a different 205. I feel like that's a part of it. Like he came in looking just a little unprepared, you know what I mean? A little doughy, a little like not really like he looked like he had like a full camp and went after it. Whereas like Khalil Roundtree always looked like you could just like that dude is always in fight mode. He's always just like jacked to the gills and ready to swing on whoever. So
I think it's crazy that a fighter could put in that much work in the like the ring, out the ring, training, and still be a little like
pudgy.
It's like, bro.
See, even then we're like dancing around saying it because we don't want to be rude. All respect to Jamal Hill, by the way. This is all coming from love.
Like you're burning a lot of calories,
I think it's one of those things, man. It's like certain habits and certain things. Like for example, like we all know that when you're like, how do I word it? You can still be like cutting weight and all that kind of stuff, but still kind of like slacking in certain things. Even when it comes to like your exercises, granted, like physique at this point, I don't really put too much weight on it when it comes to like MMA because you'll see some dude get up there that's like chiseled. Like this dude is jacked to the gills, muscles on muscles on muscles, and he's getting ragdolled by some pudgy dude like that's just handled. DC is one of the greatest of all time.
I know.
DC has never had a one pack in his. It's fridge is what that boy got. You know what I'm saying? And he's handling people. So. And again, light heavyweight. So you have situations where like that doesn't necessarily matter, but I do feel like sometimes it does kind of show the effort that you're putting into what you're doing. So I think maybe it's just that like he's not fully crossing the T's and dotting the I.
Right.
You feel me? He's doing a good amount, but I don't know, man. At a certain point, especially when you're fighting these like high level dudes that are like, yo, at the heavier weights, they're gonna kill you. Like,
for sure.
You have to be on your A game.
I'm curious because like this all like went downhill after that injury.
Yeah.
I'm curious how well he rehabbed that injury as well. Like,
I think a part of that is that for sure. I don't know. He came in with the double knee braces. I thought it was a little weird. I don't know.
It's like, did you really get that strength back?
Yeah.
And stability that you really need to.
I do wonder if this was just like he took the fight because he was like he felt ready, or if he took the fight because he just feels like he needed to be out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That could be.
That's
tricky.
like your base. That's like where you get all your strength from.
Yeah.
Is your leg. So once you lose strength and stability, I don't know which leg it is or which he punches off the right.
Sure.
Yeah. But like, I could imagine a lot, even in basketball.
I mean, just the movement. He looks stiff.
Yeah.
Again, this was a couple of weeks ago, guys. I know that we've already passed by a lot of stuff, but I'm just trying to like remember as best as I can. He looked a little stiff, looked a little slower than normal. I think Khalil is always going to just be like that real fast, explosive kind of guy. So like when he starts throwing his combinations and he starts throwing his punches and kicks, like he's just coming at you, cutting angles, and he's really throwing fast. So you have to – it's a little tricky. I feel like with Jamal Hill, even like moments where he's trying to like cut off the cage and maybe like start throwing at angles and stuff like that, I think that Khalil was just slightly too fast for him. And not even slightly. I think he was just faster. At the end of the day, he hits hard, and I think
way
he's
more
just
athletic, like way more, and just like Jamal Hill. It's something about I don't know.
I think it's just an effort thing. I'm not saying that he's not putting in any effort. I'm saying that like I think it really is that like, let's say in a week.
Yeah.
Some people might train that 7th day. Some people don't. You feel me? Like that could be all the difference. You really don't know.
His character matters.
I know that shit. Since 300, I know that's been pissing you off.
It's been pissing me off, but I just don't like the constant excuses he makes after every fight.
Yeah, anytime I see like a day or two after the fight, and I see him in his podcast setup, I'm like, here we
go, freaking talking about he felt like he didn't lose all the rounds that they say he lost, and all. Bro,
you lost.
Like even if I felt that way, the way I am. I'm not gonna sit there and just make excuses to the public, maybe to the homies, but like just like, nah, I didn't lose. I felt like I didn't lose those 2 rounds. I think it was even here. And bro, you take a loss, take your loss and keep it moving. I think that's just way more respectable.
I think at that point you just take that like the L, you just accept it to the public. You're like, I'll be back. I'm gonna go back to the drawing board, figure it out, make some changes, come back better than ever, and you just walk out with that grace. That way people still respect you. You're like, yo, he came in, he at least tried, he did his thing. Because when you start giving excuses and stuff like that, I think that's what turns the fans rabid, and they're just ready to see you get slept. And that's not something you want. It's a weird thing where, like, people will tune in to watch you get your ass beat, but, like, I don't know if you necessarily want the fans to tune in to watch you get your ass beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want some support. You want some support. It's going to get to the point where you're going to be fighting in your hometown, and people are going to be like, boo.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. And
that's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm not a fan of well, not in this case, I don't think it happened, but like when they mention injuries after the fact.
Yeah.
Like let the media mention. You could be quiet, but let the media mention, oh, he actually just went into surgery for his right knee, da-da-da. But I don't want to hear you like, oh, I actually had a torn meniscus in this knee and this.
I think a part of that has to do with them, like, I don't know. A part of me has to disagree on this one a little bit because, like, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It is a weird thing of it being an excuse, but you can't really disclose that beforehand, especially if it's something like, if you're like, I got a bum knee, the opponent's gonna be like, I'm gonna target that knee.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But especially because we've seen, like, for example, we've seen Khalil Roundtree be like, I'm gonna take that leg out.
Yeah.
And it's been horrific to see an oblique, that stomp he does.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So you got to be a little careful with some of the things you say. But then it is a weird window of time you have afterwards. So it's like, are you being honest and just letting us into your life and just see what's going on? Or are you just trying to make an excuse?
Right.
I would say, if anything, you let your team say it.
Let the team say it.
That's kind of like a little bit of a middle ground.
Let
it's
the medical
people,
people, let the medical people say it. But don't go on no podcast say it.
No, don't go on no podcast.
It's like...
No. That's when it seems a little fake and you're just trying to make excuses for yourself. I think at this point, every fighter in the top 5 has a lingering injury at all times. I don't think anybody truly fights fully healthy.
I don't think so either. I cannot imagine.
No, because we've also seen people achieve greatness and be like, my whole back was destroyed.
Yeah.
And I still did that.
Think about like other sports too.
Yeah.
Like they're constantly playing that sport, no contact.
No.
But they're always getting hurt. Imagine constant contact, literally like trying to hurt each other.
Yeah.
The amount of injuries you...
Because, like I think people forget, like, what do you think practice for these guys looks like?
Yeah.
Do you think that they're just, shadow box? No.
Yeah.
There are hard rounds being put in. Like,
the
amount of stories I've heard of people getting, like, put to sleep, not choked out. I'm talking knocked out in training camp.
Yeah.
Like, and then they're building up to a fight. That's a bad look, bro. That's a bad move for you, especially if you're, like, taking brain damage and you're like, you know what I mean? That's a lingering. You may not want to get checked out for something like that. Or like you said, you might just be like, I'm just going to rock with it and just whatever happens, happens. Like, that's a pretty bad move. I've played sports in like high school and such, and I've seen people get injured, including myself, and continue to like play through it. Granted, some worse than others. Some aren't that bad. I've never had anything that's been like super harmful where I'm just like, I shouldn't do it. But I've definitely seen people make bad moves on their health to just continue going. I think that if you feel your injury is that bad or your team thinks your injury is that bad, you should stop, not fight. If it's that big a deal, you shouldn't fight and maybe reschedule it for later. But I totally understand the same token of like, maybe you didn't have another opportunity, you got to do it. But at that point, I don't want to hear it said as an excuse afterwards. You knew you had it. You chose to do it. Like I don't want to hear it afterwards.
When you watch Ultimate Fighter back in the day, there's a lot of these people, this is their one opportunity.
Yeah.
They get injured, they get sent home.
Yeah.
The amount of people that go fight right through it just to, they need 2 knee surgeries, but still there.
Yeah.
It's like, it is kind of crazy what they endure.
They do. They put a lot into it, but that's what I'm saying. It's a tricky thing to talk about because you're like, I understand it, I respect it, but I also don't want to hear it as an excuse. If you know this is happening, it is what it is, bro. The cards fell where they did. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. It sucks, but
on to the next.
On to the next, bro. So we'll see where they move from there. Khalil Roundtree is steadily working his way back to that title, I think. I think he's going to get another shot soon. I'm not saying off of this win he'll get a shot, but I definitely think that like he's got maybe 1 or 2, and then he's got another shot. I think that he showed a lot of heart, and he definitely did well against Alex. Alex is just that guy, unfortunately. But I definitely think I see him getting another title shot, at least within 2026. If things go well, I feel like I can see him maybe by the end of 2026 getting a title shot.
That division's kind of like...
A little light.
Getting a little light.
I think the heavier weights are definitely just like struggling. Light heavyweight and heavyweight. I'm not gonna lie to you in terms of like name value. Right. You got Khalil, who's now at number 4 after that win. Above him, you got Olberg, Prohaska, Pereira, and obviously the champion Ankalaev. Ankalaev versus Pereira most likely is next. Maybe we can do Roundtree versus Olberg. That wouldn't be bad.
That would be a good one.
Roundtree versus Prohaska. Take my money,
bro. Who would you get on that one?
I feel like again the bias is gonna be there. I feel like I gotta go with Khalil.
For real?
I feel like Yuri is a tough thing to solve, and he moves very fluid, and he also hits. But my thing with him is that he's willing to get into a car accident, and I feel like Khalil usually wins the car accident.
I feel that.
You feel me?
I do feel like that last.
He fights you like you owe him money, bro.
Yeah.
You get that? You get that? Like, you owe
like
him money.
He has like a street style.
He does. When he was fighting, when he fought Jamal, there was a couple punches where like it was like overhand rights that he was throwing. You're like, bro, he put everything into that. Like he is trying to take that head clean off. There is no, I'm scoring these points. No.
Yeah.
He's trying to get you out of there, bro, as fast as possible. Like I said, there's some fighters that they're like, I got you into 3 rounds, and I think Khalil's one of them. He's like, I'm trying to get you out of here early, bro.
But who did Yuri Prohaska fight last time? It was Hill? No, Jamal Hill.
I'm trying to
after that.
No, because
it was a very impressive fight. I remember just thinking like,
it was Hill.
It was Hill, right?
He KO'd Hill in round 3. Before that, he lost to Alex, and before that, he beat Rackett at 300. So I could see that title eliminator for the next one up, them two. If not, I mean, I guess you can give Olberg a shot, but I feel like Olberg also, I don't know, he's kind of been like kind of slept on, and he's been racking up these wins, but I feel like it hasn't been anything super impressive where people are like, put him in there. But he beat, he's on a 3 fight, or actually maybe even more than that. Let's see how many.
Is there any in
oh, he's on a streak right now. Hold on.
I was about to say, because I don't remember him being that high in the rankings.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fight win streak this boy's on right now. Last 2 was against Jan Blachowicz and Volkan Ozdemir.
Okay.
So he's doing pretty good.
Pretty solid.
He beat former champ right there in Jan Blachowicz. I mean, granted, that was, I think, was like a controversial decision, but for the most part, it seems like he can be up there. If he's not next, you give him versus Roundtree, or if not, you do Roundtree versus Prohaska, and you go from there. But I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting one to see how that plays out because, like I said, those heavier divisions, I feel like people are kind of like falling asleep with those, like heavyweight and whatnot. I don't think people are really caring so much about it. John Jones and Tom was like the talk of the town for quite some time, but besides that, ain't shit going on, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm like craving some new heavyweight.
This past weekend, because again, we're going to go over stuff that we missed.
That's why I haven't brought it up, but like.
But with
that definitely gave it a little spice.
You gave Derek Lewis, what was his name? Derek Lewis versus what? I'm trying to think of how to say his name. Is Taliesin Teixeira? Is that how you said his name? Taliesin Teixeira?
I think so.
Taliesin Teixeira, I think is how you say his name. Because I'm thinking of like how you say Glover. I think they have the same last name, Teixeira. Yeah, he was somebody that was 8-0 coming up. People were like excited. This huge dude. He's like 6'6", something like that. I don't know. He's tall. I think he's like 6'4". But he's a tall dude, heavyweight, powerhouse, knocking people out. Same thing. They ain't making it out of the first round. Goes up against Derek Lewis. Slept. Not really slept. But controversial decision. Controversial stoppage, I should say.
I think it was like one of those that like, yeah, it is an early stoppage, but he would have got him anyway.
I think he would have got him anyway, and I think a part of why the ref kind of stopped it is because he was getting swarmed on, and I had to watch like a replay of it. When he's up against the fence and Derek is just swinging for the fences, you see homeboy crawl his way up through the fence. It's too much. It's too much.
Bro,
It's too much.
You're not just like, you know when they yell at you for holding on to the fence?
Yeah.
He was like, bro.
Yeah, he was climbing his way back up. Bro, not defending himself, climbing his way back up.
It's like,
I think if he didn't stop it there, it probably would have like turned around and then just one of the punches would have landed clean. He would have just dropped. Personally, I think you probably should have let that one go a little bit longer, but I don't think anybody really cares too much besides probably Taliesin. I think he's probably pretty pissed off. You know what I'm saying?
The taller they
are, the harder they fall, for sure. I mean, he didn't fall super hard, but yeah, it is what it is. But that's another young and hungry heavyweight that got put to pasture. Now we have not a lot of big names in there. I know me and you, we're over here supporting and rooting for Waldo to get that title shot.
He's working.
Other than that, you know what I mean? We don't really got a whole lot of people.
He's working every day trying to.
You know what it is? I feel like it's the same thing with a lot of other like divisions where you have somebody that's like coming in and they got like 3, 4, 5 like fight win streak underneath their belt, and they just come across somebody that just puts them down. And after that, you're like, it's like all the hype and everything goes away, but I feel like it shouldn't.
I know.
Especially if they're doing like real, like for example, with Taliesin, I'm excited to see him come back. You know what I'm saying? Like not like saying I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna be the no. But in the sense of like, listen, he's not that experienced.
Yeah.
He's got 8 fights total. Now it's 9, but 8 fights total going into this one. I think only 1 or 2 technically within the UFC, because 1 was in the Contender Series. The other one had to be his actual debut. But, you know, sometimes them lights really do get to people. And really it's a lot. Yeah. So, who knows? Maybe he comes back and he gets on another crazy knockout streak. Because I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of those dudes at heavyweight, all right. Yeah. They're not world beaters. They're not anybody that's going to be coming and do some crazy stuff. And a lot of the time, it is as hard as they hit, they get hit real hard too. Yeah. And they will also drop. So, and when it comes to heavyweight, like he could really pull some stuff together, and who knows? But I feel like people are too quick to dismiss some people. So hopefully they don't do that.
Let people get some losses. It doesn't mean that their career is over or they suck now.
Yeah,
it's just because they lost to someone just as good.
It's like, for example, and this is going to be the subject of the entire episode, by the way, is UFC 318. In case you guys didn't see the headline when you read the title before you clicked on the video, Max versus Dustin. Yeah. Same idea when it comes to them. Both of them, phenomenal fighters.
Right.
GOATs in their own way, Hall of Famers for sure. Both have lost to some of the best. The losses, they still have losses on the record, but when you look at the losses, you're like,
bro, all the legends I remember all got big losses. Like
big losses.
GSPs to the Anderson Silvas so you can go down.
I think it comes with the territory. As cool as it is to be a Khabib and retire like 29-0 or whatever it might be, like I think that you look at the names on there and you see like some crazy names for like his most recent like wins.
Yeah.
But then before that, it's like, it's all right. So it's like, how worthy are you of this like kind of legacy in terms of like, wow, you are just this beast defeating the best of the best. Like it's one thing that you're like I said, like imagine number 2 heavyweight in the world is like, I'd like to fight anybody below the top 10, please. And just start knocking out like these fresh up and coming dudes. Yeah. You'll build this crazy record. Yeah. But it's like, all right, did you fight anybody that really pushed you, really doing anything crazy? Like as much as it's upsetting that Dustin lost against Islam, he gave it to him.
Yeah,
he put up a scrap.
I just seen the clip of how much respect he was showing him after that fight. Yeah, and it's just like, I love that.
Yeah, that's like, the best part of the sport. Like, when you see like you're like watching and they're like, they're about to kill each other, and then that horn blows and they just stop the fight because it's the end of the fight, and they go and they just dap each other up, give them that hug, and there's like all respect, or they like pray together or something like that. You're like, I like that. I will say there's sometimes where you're like, you need to stop talking to that person right now. If they're not happy right now and they don't want to look at you right now, you just let that one slide.
Like when you whoop their ass.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, you just
like, yo, you did good though.
Yeah, that one's a little different.
You did great.
When it's like mutual, we don't know who's gonna win. It's like, all right, cool. But when it gets to that point where you're like, you just whooped my ass for 15 to 25 minutes straight. I don't want to look at you right now, bro. I respect it, but I don't want to look at you right now.
Yo, give it up to put his hands up. Give it up to him. He was he had so much heart.
Shout out to the fight night this past weekend to Lauren Murphy, who retired, by the way. I know she lost, so she didn't get her moment, but shout out to her. I've seen so many of her fights over the years as someone who's just been in the UFC for a long time, so it's been cool to watch her fight. But one of the funniest moments post-fight I've ever seen in my life. The shorty she fought, this Brazilian girl, comes up to her and she's speaking to her full-blown Portuguese, and she just looks at her right in the face, honest, and just like, I have no idea what the fuck you're saying. I'm so sorry, and just walked away from her. Respect. You gotta respect that. Yeah, she's honest, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, bro, we just got into a war. I lost my retirement fight, and you're coming at me in a language I don't even fathom. Like,
I can barely think right now.
I respect
my brain is pounding.
Respect all of. I don't know a word you're saying right now. I'm gonna keep it pushing. I'll talk to you later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't blame her for that. She didn't want to hear that at that moment. You can't be mad. I feel like it's really funny though for her to be like, I don't know anything you're saying right now, and just walked out of the octagon. I think they would have gave her a moment on the mic to be like, yo, shout out to you and your career. She's like, good. Yeah, I'm good. But I definitely think that with some of these fighters that like they get these losses and stuff like that, like, I don't think it takes away too much from their shine, in my opinion. Yeah. I will say though, if I see a fighter that like I am not really impressed with the wins they're stringing together, and then they get their ass absolutely beat by somebody that's like in a higher ranking or like known to be a better fighter than them, that's when I'm like, okay, you got fraud checked. Yeah. You feel me? When you're like skating by on some dumb shit and then you come across somebody that like, well, they got either I don't really take the like I said, the zig when you should have zagged, you get clipped kind of situation. Yeah. But if I see you get your ass beat, like you got beat, like that's pretty bad. Then I'm like, oh, you good. I feel like with heavyweights, it's a little different. Light heavyweight, it's a little different. But like when you start getting into like 145 pound and it's like a lot of skill and you're just getting dominated for like 15 rounds, it's like,
bro, speaking of skill, that young dude, Van.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Joshua Van.
I don't think I've ever seen a fight where I was that excited. Well, I don't want to say that, but like, I was just so impressed by someone I didn't know.
Yeah. I think he's somebody that's now on everybody's radar for the most part. Yeah. I've been seeing him do his round on podcasts and stuff like that in the MMA space. Like a lot of people are trying to tune into him. Bro, he hits hard. He's a great boxing style, which is usually very exciting to like that's what it watching. Well, you brought it up early, you feel me? But it's true. Like, listen, we're not going to sit here and act like most casual fans, including ourselves, I guess to a certain extent. I don't know. At this point, I don't even know what to call myself. But like most people that watch, it's usually that they really care about. Yeah. If you're standing and trading, you're boxing like crazy. I think that's the thing that's the most exciting to people. Obviously, you see a spinning heel hook to the face. It's pretty dope. But those are very rare and far in between.
Yeah.
For the most part, when you see like a scrap or you see people are like what you would consider a war and it's usually boxing.
Yeah.
It's usually heavy they're boxing, heavy they're trading. Max Holloway and Calvin Kattar, by the way, Calvin Kattar.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Massachusetts' very own. Shout out to him, bro. But I think he's definitely got to revamp some stuff. Go back to the drawing board. He's got a couple losses now, racking up. He's got to figure it out.
Yeah, right.
Dana White sends you to the PFL.
No offense, but I definitely vote bet against him every time.
No, I totally get it. Listen, like it's one of those things of like we support our own. We definitely want to see the best for the people from around here. You know what I mean? Shout out to I know this has nothing to do with MMA, and this might get some people mad, but shout out Brian for winning Love Island.
Yeah, right.
Everett's very own.
Hell yeah.
But like the people around here, I love to support and I love to shout them out. And I want to make sure that like people understand that like we got some cool stuff that comes out of Massachusetts. I feel like it's not a lot of things that are told besides like the witch trials. You feel me?
Yeah,
so,
it's
like,
crazy.
So I feel like I like to put people on, but at the same time, I'm gonna keep it real. Like if you're not doing the best, I'm gonna let you know you're not doing the best. Like, and this is something that like I feel like we got to be honest with it when it comes to like us as like, I know the annoying part everybody says, not everybody deserves a microphone and this and the third. This show is for me. This show is for you. This is us giving our opinions. If you like them, good. If you don't, I don't really care. Right. But I'm also going to keep it straight. Like with Calvin, who's like, he's from here. I'd love to support him. I'd love to see him do great. But at the same time, bud, get it together. Figure it out. Yeah. I feel like after I saw the Max Holloway fight, and Max is like, I'm the best boxer. He's not even looking at him, dodging his punches. After that, I feel like every fight I've seen, it's like Calvin Kattar getting whooped on a little bit, and it's hard to watch. But I don't know. I think sometimes fighters get in a little bit of a rut, as everybody does with anything in life. And you just got to take a step back, think about what's going on, revamp, maybe take a break, and come back to it. I know he's probably not the youngest dude in the game, but like 6 months to a year, kind of figure it out, heal up, and then go back to it,
Sometimes, like, you do have to let your body heal.
You do. Yeah, I think
sometimes it takes longer than just a little 2 months or whatever. Yeah, sometimes you need a good little half a year.
It's some rest, relaxation, just kind of like figuring it out, both physically and mentally. I feel like because also when it comes to like we were talking about earlier with the injuries and stuff like that, that stuff mentally affects you as well. Yeah. When you're so used to doing things a certain way, and now you physically cannot do a thing, that messes with your brain, bro. Like you do definitely go through something where you're like, am I not good enough? Am I not able to do this anymore? Is this even me anymore? Or whatever it might be. Like I think you definitely get into some weird headspace, and you can't have those doubts going into a place where you're getting ready to get punched and kicked in the face. That cannot happen.
I know, right?
Like you can't. There's nobody else in that cage to rely on but yourself.
Like you have like this certain fear of re-injuring.
Yeah. The only person that's going to save you is the ref. And even then is when he's pulling the other guy off of you. That's not a good look, bro.
I know.
It's not a good look. So people got to be a little careful. I feel like we got a couple of people that like definitely have like fell off a little bit. You know what I mean? They got to kind of revamp. I think that's been a little bit of a theme going on.
For sure. Times have changed.
In the last few months, I think that the one thing we've talked about is like the old guard and the new guard and all that kind of thing. And I think at this point, there's just like a lot of fighters that are like either burning themselves out or like just not, I don't know, focusing on other stuff maybe. I don't know. I feel like I've seen a couple of people kind of take their eye off the prize and like
a little bit,
you see where it kind of goes bad. Like I don't think that things would have been super different, but I definitely think if Volkanovski, for example, took, I don't know, his life decisions a little bit differently leading up into the Ilya fight, because I know he had some mental demons he was battling.
Yeah.
Things might have worked out a little different. You know what I mean?
His family wants him to retire too.
I mean, dude, he's got a lot. I was listening to his. By the way, everybody go check out Mighty Mouse's YouTube channel. It's so good. Yeah. If you want to like listen, I like the Joe Rogan ones where he's sitting down with a fighter and kind of going over. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes Joe Rogan just like some of the things he kind of goes over. It's like hearing it on repeat over and over again. So I don't really care that much. But I feel like Mighty Mouse gets into such a nitty gritty, like into like certain things with fighters where like he gets personal and he knows where you're coming from. So he knows exactly the questions to ask to get a really different answer than you would see that fighter put on any other interview or social media that they get. At least in my opinion, this is what I've been seeing.
That's what I like. I like to see the perspective of the fighter. I know this is a weird space where like the athletes are the podcasters now. Yeah. But I also never in my life liked the non-athletes being like the Stephen A. Smiths and the ones kind of just like you don't know that perspective. You see it from a viewer's perspective.
It's a different, You
don't see it from and I've only realized that when doing this, playing basketball. Yeah, I see how my peers kind of like view basketball and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I can see a difference from the ones that played and the ones that doesn't.
Yeah, because you can tell off of like their point of view and where they're coming from is completely different than other people. So, like, for example, for you've been playing basketball your entire life. Yeah. Like, you at this point know the game in and out. Career, whatever, be damned, whatever it might be. That, though, is something you know very well from the player perspective as well as a viewer perspective. Yeah. So with you, like, you have very interesting takes on certain things because of the way you think about it versus somebody that's more of a viewer-heavy kind of perspective.
I do tend to be more understanding.
Yeah, because even, like, if somebody was to get into, like, technique and whatnot, you'd be able to kind of, like, connect that a lot better than maybe somebody else would. Like, if I'm asking questions, they're going to be very basic questions that, like, probably they've been asked 50 other times by 50 other people versus, like, the perspective you give is going to be vastly different. So when it comes to, like, a fighter asking another fighter things, it's different than Joe or Ariel Helwani or whatever it might be, given their perspective. Like, even if you've been far enough from the game as well, because, like, Joe did, like, Taekwondo and whatnot, so he has fought professionally, but it's different. Yeah. Like, you get me? So I think that, like, the Mighty Mouses and things like that, it's cool to watch them do their interviews, you know?
It definitely is. It's like they can pick apart things that, like, a viewer never thought of because they were never there to think about it in that situation.
You also learn a lot more. So, like, for example, the reason I brought it up is, like, the whole thing with Alex is, like, him and Mighty went back and forth on, like, certain subjects because, like, Mighty is also coming at him. I've dissected you. I've dissected your fights. I've dissected the fights that you lost. I'm going to ask you questions that may be uncomfortable, but they're there. Like, for him, talking about Ilya, like, I brought it up earlier, the whole thing about the combination. Where do you think I got that from? Do you guys think I train? I don't train. That's where I got it from. Where he's explaining, like, he's not just coming at you with 1, 2, 3. He's coming at you with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's explaining how you lost, and he's saying it to his face. Like, that's really cool to see.
That's the part of fighting that really intrigues me is, like, the puzzle. The puzzle.
It's chess, bro.
Yeah. It's chess. Like picking them apart, the when to the counters and the
one of my favorite things that has to, like, do with what you're speaking on right now. You ever see when it's like a crazy knockout or a crazy finish, and then, like, maybe the day after they release the footage of that person training that move in the back right before they walk out? Yeah. Conor with Aldo or whatever it might be.
When he does this, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. You're like, I know this is coming. Yeah. I'm very aware this is coming, and I'm going to do it. I think even moments like Derek Lewis, we were just talking about him, and Curtis Blades, level change. I'm going to level change with you, and I'm going to throw this uppercut, and we'll see what happens. Put him to sleep. Immediately stiff. Like, it's like crazy the split decision you make and how well it works out. It's nuts, bro. The flying knee and whatnot, just like out of nowhere, but you know when to time it because they have this tendency of doing this thing. That's where, like, people, I feel like, don't understand the benefit it is to have a good camp, good coaches. Like, that's another thing I love. As much as I enjoy listening to the fighters and whatnot, listening to the coaches is crazy.
I love
like, you
that.
Want to listen. As much as, like,
all right, now put the leg over.
It's like listening to technique and the way that they explain certain stuff is insane. Like, I love watching, like, instructional videos and stuff like that where they're just kind of going over certain things and, like, just, like, learning from their point of view of, like, what you need to do as a fighter to get to where you need to be, and they have the experience to back it up. Like a Trevor Whitman, who has now coached several successful fighters in the UFC. Like, he's talking, you're listening. Yeah, like, you gotta know what they're going on about. Because if not, bro, like, I feel like you're just gonna come to nonsense.
I've always appreciated the art of every sport.
Yeah.
Like the detail of the art of it. Like, oh man.
It's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it. People don't think about it because
everything. I don't care for
they think they're playing sport ball, but even if you were to look through an NFL playbook, you're like, bro, what? Like it's super confusing. But then you speak to somebody who's in the NFL, you're like, oh no, you want to do this type
like
of
the geniuses of the game. He might not be the most athletic, but he's just a.
Well, that's why like I kind of like have this counter argument when it comes to people like hating like I'm not saying you're hating, but like in the sense of like where you're like I don't like the Stephen A. Smiths and this and the third, because you have to understand that it's a different lens. It's not that it's bad. I just think it's a different lens. I understand where people come from where they're like, well, you don't even do this, but like, man, I feel bad because I'm blanking on homeboy's name. But there's one of the dudes who does like the weigh-in shows with like DC and Laura Sanko, and I'm blanking on his name so bad right now. He has never fought, and he gets clowned on all the time for not doing it. But then at the same time, it's like, well, he may well have watched this sport since he was a kid and just chose not to actually train in it because he knows what could be the dangers or whatever it might be, or maybe just life took him a different way. You can't hate on his perspective because he's coming at you with a different one. You got to respect that too, because at the same time, like for me, as much as fighters can watch, like for example, our podcast, and I know all the fighters in the UFC watch our podcast because it's the #1 MMA podcast out there. As much as like people can watch the podcast and not like their opinions or they not like what they have to say, you also have to respect it in a sense of like, hey, bud, we're watching you all the time, though.
Yeah.
So like, as much as you're like, you don't know what I'm doing, it's like, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I've seen you now in all your fights professionally in the UFC. You're ass, or you're great, or you're okay, or you could do better here.
I think they're definitely a lot harsher.
Yeah.
Like that lens.
I'll tell you right now, they're definitely a lot harsher because they expect greatness out of everybody, and I feel like you can't do that. That's why I don't feel comfortable comparing certain people. Like for example, like at this point, I don't think anybody should be comparing anybody to Conor McGregor, especially not outside stuff. Regardless, by the way, by the time we're recording this, yes, we saw on Twitter, yes, we heard about the weights. Dear God, but shout out, boy. But it's also the thing of like. That was a moment in time that something really special happened where someone had a meteor like rise into fame and stardom and all this other stuff. You can't do that again. Yeah. You got to do it in a different way.
That was a beautiful story. Even like if it was a movie.
Yeah.
Like I remember the beginning of him and he was just like that nobody Irish boy. Like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
This kind of rise. A little scrapper.
Dude, there's a photo that goes around, and I should have got it here, but there's a photo that goes around that was just like, man, this card was only a few years ago, and on I think it was like the prelims or something like that, Ilia Topuria, DDP, and I forgot who the other person was, but like, I think not Pantoja, it was somebody else, but like all three of them champions, at least within the last few years, and it's crazy to think about because it's such a short amount of time. They immediately pop up. Like I remember watching DDP and people be like, he's not that good. He's pretty bad. And then also like people being like, oh, it's because his nose is messed up. He can't breathe too well. He gets his nose fixed. He's win. And now he's beating Izzy and he's doing this and the third. You're like, whoa, where did all this come from? Versus like someone like a Hamza who just comes in like a bullet. And you're like, yo, this guy off rip is like doing crazy stuff. It's different careers. Everybody's different. You can't compare everybody to like all the other aspects. It's like the same reason, like as much as I sit behind that desk and I'm producing and I'm listening to you guys talk, the Michael Jordan versus LeBron stuff, that's gotta stop.
Yeah.
It's gotta stop.
I've definitely stopped. At this point, I kind of just like appreciate both of them. But
it's different eras. It's different games. They're playing against different people. Now, if you were to try to compare two people that verse the same teams or the same people and they in the same time, that I understand.
You don't see it in other sports. You don't see it in fighting where we're just like, no, it's not John Jones. It's Islam.
I think that people definitely have that argument, for example, of like who is the greatest of all time. You'll have people say GSP. You'll have people say then John Jones. You'll have people say then Anderson Silva. You'll have people say Mighty Mouse. I think it definitely is easier to have the conversation of like who's your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Who's the four.
Especially with fighting, there is different weight classes, so it's hard to put like, but like even like a football or like a baseball. Like,
I'll tell you this. There's one thing I will say about fighting that is a little different. With fighting, there is the pound for pound list, at least in MMA. That makes it a little different because the idea behind pound for pound is that your skill can translate to any weight class and you're him.
Yeah.
You are the one. You are the person.
I'm the best right now.
That's a little different. I feel like that one, you can then give that argument of like, well, no, this person could probably do it. But at the same time, like,
LeBron and Jordan, maybe it's because it's that close or there's so many on both sides.
I think for me, it's that there's too many too many like comparisons that can be made that you then make those comparisons. You feel me? Like it's just like you want to hold. There needs to be some sort of standard so you can hold somebody to it.
Yeah.
But like for example, here's my thing with it. You don't need to have Michael Jordan's career to go into the Hall of Fame. That in and of itself, we shouldn't have then him as a comparison. It should be just what you need to do to get into that. It's like the same thing as like we were talking about getting in the Hall of Fame or being greatest of all time and all that kind of stuff. For me, in my own opinion, I do think you need to be a title holder and have multiple defenses to be able to be considered greatest of all time in that weight class. Just because not only did you show you could get to the top, but you stay at the top. Pantoja.
Yeah.
At the top.
Actually, that was a
and
good,
he's staying at the top.
Yeah.
I don't know who's taking that belt from that boy.
I don't see him leaving the...
But then with him, nobody really talks about him like that. I feel like unless you're like a hardcore guy who I'm listening to like all my other MMA podcasts, you don't really give him that respect because he's not this like crazy draw and all this other stuff. But like at the same time, I would argue Sean O'Malley has more fans than that guy, and Pantoja has significantly a better career than Sean O'Malley has.
Right.
You know, it's the same thing with like Mighty Mouse. When I hear him and his like, I didn't watch him growing up because I didn't watch the sport growing up, but then I hear how much money he was making compared to guys who were fighting at the same time he was, and he's known as one of the greatest of all time. He's getting played. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's hard to make those comparisons because then you start getting into the nitty gritty of things, and it's like doesn't make sense to an extent. You know what I mean?
Fighting is definitely like who is. If we remove
it, all goes. That's what I'm saying. It all goes down to personal preference. Because at the same time, like it's like who they fought, how they fought.
That's what I'm starting to realize with basketball, with football. It
my
really is all personal preference.
In my like experience, it seems like GSP is someone who you would lean towards because of like stats, but then also like the ability to face adversity and overcome it is that's something he's been able to show time and time again.
Yeah.
I'm going to adapt to what's going on. I'm going to learn your style and kind of improve on mine and kind of go from there. I think that he's kind of the embodiment of like
he comes from
the gold standard of what you should be.
He comes from like that 3-fight era.
Yeah.
Where like they kind of like the what's that called? Word for that.
You let me know.
Yeah, right.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah, right.
We should probably, because now we're like almost an hour in. We haven't even brought up the actual card.
Well, let's get it.
Let's get to the card. I looked up at the time and I was like,
there's a lot to catch up on.
We have been catching up for a minute. Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to cut off your train of thought, but I just felt like
I lost it, so you're good.
That's fair enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the nitty gritty. Enough catching up to do, even though we're almost done with this episode. UFC 318. Unfortunately, Dustin Poirier's retirement fight. But he's going out with a bang, uno mas, baby.
Yeah.
So we got Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway for the BMF title. I'm surprised you let them fight for that, bro. You
know what? I just know that like they'll give it right back once it'll.
Fair enough. You know what I mean? They'll keep it warm for you.
Because they want to. I've heard Dana was saying that he don't want it in the UFC no more, and he wants to have it end after this. So I told him, give it right back. I'll put it back on my wall.
We square. I feel like it makes sense to get rid of it. It doesn't make any sense, bro.
It has to go with one of them.
Because at the same time, like I've been hearing people say it, and we had the same argument over it as well. Like, did Ilya win that belt? He knocked out the BMF. I know it wasn't up, but
I personally think he ended up because I think he's a BMF.
I think so too.
I think he falls under the category of a BMF.
I would say so. I think if you put him in a BMF fight, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Like if it was somebody else that was nice and you maybe choked them out.
Yeah, Charles and Ilya, if you were to swap out the lightweight belt for the BMF belt, you'd be like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. You know what I'm saying? It's weird because it's a cool thing to, like you said, it's a hardcore champion. You know what I mean?
Hardcore. It's just ECW.
It's just really cool, but it's off to the side. It's not the main thing, but it's really cool for the fans. You feel me? I think at this point, it's time for them to kind of like put that thing to rest just because it's weird, bro. It's like, do you make any more money? Do you hold it? Do you walk around with it? Are you the BMF? Do you then go for other? Do you still want to go for regular gold, or do you just fight in these BMF fights?
And how many BMFs really are there?
It's a good question.
Not that many.
And then is it only one weight class, or can you expand it and anybody can be a BMF like title holder? Can the women have a BMF belt? You feel me? Like there's so many.
Like and I'm sorry, but if you're a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist, you don't fall under
You don't
that.
fall under it.
So you have to be pure scrapper.
Scrap.
Yeah, only.
It's like Bobby Green, whose name or his fight style Hood. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
You just got to be someone that's like willing to go into the war, and that is what it is.
Ah.
I think it's so funny, bro. I feel like there's like a lot of people that I feel like will fall under that category, but I think at this point, just retire the belt.
Yeah.
But with this fight, it's going to be a very good card, I think, in the sense of like, disclaimer. No big names on here, I feel like, besides Max and Dustin.
Yeah.
If you watch heavy, Kevin Holland is on this card. Other than that,
When I see those, all right.
not really a whole lot.
I see Kevin Holland, all right.
Yeah, we got Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. We got Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. We got Dan 50KE Gay versus Patricio Pitbull. And Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. We got a couple things in the prelims.
That's not bad.
You know what I mean? We got like a couple people in the prelims, but I'm going to be honest with you, in terms of name value, not a whole lot. But I will tell you this. Unfortunately, it is a pay-per-view. I will agree with some other people that have made the comment. It probably should have been like a really badass fight night, but you got to give these boys that pay-per-view money. They deserve it. I think that it's worth the watch. Obviously, to my fans watching, you watch it the way you're going to watch it. I know exactly what you know what I mean. You watch it the way you're going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it the way I'm going to watch it. You watch it the way you're going to watch it.
Right, because at this point, bro, no one's gonna say nothing, but I will say it'll end up being a good card. It's like the same way like this past weekend, it was a fight night. I'd argue it was the fight night of the year,
bro.
Like
I want to just thank the UFC for how many good fight nights we've had in the past couple months.
Yeah, I think that people put fight nights to the side, but fight nights can be good.
Because like free, like if you have ESPN, free amazing fights like this. We're talking Usman. Who else? Buckley, right?
Buckley, yeah.
There was another good-ass fight around
Jamal Hill.
Hill.
That was a fight night. What else do we have? Let's see.
Oh, yeah, the Juneteenth.
The Juneteenth card, yeah. Sanhagen versus Figueiredo, that was a good one. Ian Gary versus Carlos Pratas, that was another fight night. Like, we've had a couple of good ones, man. Obviously, not every fight on the fight nights are going to be like, wow. But, like, for the most part, you get some good bangers on there. And this is going to be a good one, too. Not a fight night, but it's pay-per-view. But you know what I mean.
And for the most part, I know, like, people, like, maybe you're a casual or whatever, but the prelims be lit.
Yo, I get so annoyed with people that are, like, they just really show up for, like, the main event, or they don't care at all for the main card. But I'm really getting annoyed with people that don't even watch the prelims. Because, like, how are you going to be a fan of the sport and not want to watch the up-and-coming, like, no-name people, like, put in, like, the fight of their life? Because you have to understand, the ones that are at the end, at the last bit, for the most part, have all the money.
Yeah.
They don't, not that they don't care, but they don't have a whole lot to lose.
Yeah.
The ones that are at the beginning, those are restaurant employees. Some people work at a Valvoline, you feel me?
Maybe get a little 10K.
They're making a little 10K to show up, a little 10K to walk home. Whack, bro, whack. They're the ones that are going to show up and they're going to give you a war because they want you to pay attention to them so they can get their money. But, like, people don't care about that, bro.
Get the same pay as me yearly.
You take two hungry people and you offer them a saltine cracker to the winner. You're going to see the scrap of your life. That's basically what you're watching on the prelims. And I feel like more people need to tune in. That's why I like when I watch and I see that there's like, all you see is Theo Vaughn sitting by himself.
Yeah, by himself in the corner.
Everybody else is gone. It's just him right there.
And then you'll see like two no-names just kill each other. Yeah, war. And you're sitting there like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah. Immediately you're like, I got your name written down at this point. Like, I'm going to pay attention to you. But to be fair, a lot of the fighters that we're seeing now were always known. There were no-name people on a prelim at some point. Feel me? Like,
I seen this chick, didn't know any of these girls fighting. She got her head fucking kicked off.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was like, hell yeah.
So I saw a meme that was like, I've seen enough. Welcome back, Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy. That's wild work.
That is crazy.
But it's true. Like, I feel like people don't. Fatima Klein was her name. There's a lot of people that you don't think about that you like watch the prelims. You're like, oh, this is crazy. Like, oh, we were talking about heavyweight earlier. What's his name? Walter Walker, Johnny Walker's like brother, stepbrother. They don't look a thing alike
at all.
They
honestly, until you just said that, I didn't know they were brothers.
They are either half or step. I don't care what anybody tells me. There's something going on there.
And I was like, another Walker that's Brazilian? Interesting.
And this is his third heel hook win.
Oh, yeah,
that's a different variation of the heel hook. This guy is somebody you got to watch, but he's on the prelims. You won't know about him until you watch. That's why I do my best on the MMA page. I'm like posting finishes and I'm posting the crazy wins, even if it's on the early prelims, because you know my bum ass is watching all of them. But I want people to be able to see these people and put a light on them too, because that's what grows the sport. Listen, not even every main event is going to be exciting. I'm going to argue more often than not, there's a more exciting fight on the early or the regular prelim than there is the main event of that entire pay-per-view. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. This one's a little different. I think Max and Dustin are going to go to war. I don't see a situation where like either one of them are really going to even I think Dustin, who is somebody who would go to the ground, would try to like, I don't think he's planning on doing any of that. Yeah. I think he's willing to walk out of here with a full-blown case of CTE and a concussion. It's his last one. What are you going to do? Not give the people what they want?
He's definitely one of my favorites of all time.
It's going to be sad to watch him put those gloves down for sure. I honestly, I don't even want to put a pick in this one. I think I've been siding with everybody else has been saying the same thing. I want them to go in. I want Bruce Buffer to give the announcement. I want them to say, fight, are you ready? Fight, are you ready? They go up, they give each other a nice warm hug, and they just walk out. I don't want to see none else. Because it's just like, it's two of the favorites. Like, somebody has to lose. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if we get a 300 where it's like last minute buzzer beater knockout. I honestly don't even know if we get a finish in this fight. I think the low key, I can see a decision war. It's 5 rounds.
It's 5 rounds?
It's 5 rounds of just slugging it. But I don't know, man.
For 5 rounds decision?
Here's the thing, is that now that we've seen Max Holloway get knocked out, now we know it can happen. You know what I mean? You don't believe something can happen until it happens.
I don't know why I have this vision of Dustin knocking him out on his way out.
I want it to be the thing. I want him to have the belt wrapped around his waist, but at the same time, I also know that Max still has a career left in this bitch. I don't want him to just get thrown to the wayside because now he's got knocked out twice in a row. So it's tricky, man. I feel like I want Dustin to win for the story of it all, walk out with a belt around your waist. It's not the one you wanted necessarily, but it's the one you're willing to take. Yeah. But I also don't. It's weird. I don't want to see Max go down for it. You feel me? You really got to pick between your two favorites, bro. It's like, which parent do you want gone? You know what I mean? You're like, Jesus Christ. Why do I have to make
I just seen that in a show where a parent had to pick which kid was going to.
We don't got to get into that.
It was like a hostage situation.
That's kind of what it feels like right now. It's like, which kid do you love more right now?
Like, have to pick a child. The kid finds out. Like, Mom, you picked.
I need to know what show this is. This is nuts.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. The cameras are off. The cameras are off. I got into this this whole thing in my head about thinking about this fight where I'm just like, wow, this is really one of those situations where I knew it was going to happen when Max moved up to 155, where we got excited over all the potential matchups. But then you really sit down and think about it. There's a lot of people that you're like, man, I'd like both of these guys. The Max versus Dustin, the Max versus Charles, the Max versus Justin Gaethje.
That's such a good division.
It's such 155 has always been a good one for at least the time that I've been watching the sport. 155 has been the one. That has been the one.
It's the most skilled, but it's also the most. They can still have that power and with it.
There's a lot of fighters in there of name, which is also a big part of it. Like, you can go 1 through 10, and you're like, well, this is stacked. All the other ones are there's a handful, and then I'll say when you move up in weight, obviously it kind of falls off a little bit. But there's also ones with I don't know, man. I'd say 155 and 170 are probably the most stacked, and then 145, I think there's a few names in there in the top 3 or 4 that you really care about. Obviously you have Volkanovski, but I don't know, if you pulled a random person off the street, and this is no shade, and you were like, do you know who a Yair Rodriguez is? You know what I mean? But I would...
The boxer?
That's what I'm saying. I would say more... If you're not obviously, if you're not a heavy MMA fan or whatever that, you're going to know, more casual people are going to know names you list off in the 155 division than you would anybody else. Lightweight is that division. That's their poster child, I would argue, for the most part. You get focused in on other people, but But I don't know how this one goes out, man. I don't know. I want it to be Dustin. I feel like that's kind of where I lean for the story. But at the same time, I also know that would mean Max has now lost 2 trilogies. And then also would then have lost twice in a row, right?
Yeah.
1 via knockout, 1 by whatever is going to happen in this one. That's not a blemish like super bad because obviously it's like who he's fighting and everything like that. But it is a thing of like, all right, where do we go from here? You know what I mean? There was a moment where we were thinking Max versus Islam, and then he wanted to move back down, and he had that meeting with Ilya, and now he's back up to 155. So it's like, all right, does he work his way up to the 155 belt, and again has to fight Ilya? But then it was, who does he go up against next? So
does he go? Yeah, right.
With a loss too, especially if it's a loss, it's like, I don't know, man. He's one of those dudes that I think he will fight anybody, but you also want to see him fight against big names. So it's a little weird on that one. I don't know.
If that was the case, who does Max Holloway? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to speak it into existence.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say this out loud, but I don't know, man.
He's the only one that has a future after.
It's Max at 5, Dustin at 6. You could do, if he loses, you put him against Dan Hooker. That's the fight you make.
That's a good fight.
That's the fight you make.
Yeah.
Immediately, I looked at that name. I was like,
if he wins,
Max versus Charles.
Oh yeah.
If he wins, Max versus Charles. Because Max at 5, Justin Gaethje at 4, Charles Oliveira at 3, Arman Sarukian at 2, Islam at 1. Ilya is the title holder. But Islam doesn't necessarily count because he's over here trying to fight at 170. So I feel like kind of like an empty space there that his name is there, but it's not really there.
I think that because he hasn't gone up yet.
I think with a loss, Dan Hooker. With a win, Charles Oliveira. Him and Justin, no. Justin's also calling for a title shot, so I don't know if that necessarily comes through.
What does Justin get? Give him Sarukian instead.
I don't know, man. He's over here doing something, bro. I don't know. Sarukian got played again.
Yeah.
Ilya literally called him out everything but by name. And Joe Rogan was like, Patty Pimblett.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was on that TV like, what?
I was so confused too.
Bro, he brought up the back injury and everything, and he was still just like, Patty Pimblett. Boy, if you don't...
And he still got him on into the ring to talk.
It's hard to sit here and argue that this shit is not like the WWE when they put it right in your fucking face.
Yeah,
and you're like, man, I'm trying my best here, but you are making it difficult when you do shit like that, Joe Rogan. It's tricky, bro. I feel like I would see him... Win or lose, Max still got a couple of big fights in there, but I definitely don't want to see him go out bad, obviously. But I do want to see Dustin go out on a big win and, you know what I mean, feeling great and just knowing that he's good. But at the same time, though, part of me feels like with that dude gets too good of a win, he's not going to want to walk away.
That's what I was thinking, too.
A part of me is like,
bro,
you can't give him too much because I feel like he's going to be like, I might as well still.
Wait a second, I'm still good.
Because he said it. He said that he doesn't want the game to finish him. He wants to be able to be done with the game. And I respect that a whole lot. But I will tell you right now, he's going to get that itch. He's going to get that.
He wins this. Does he get a title shot?
No.
Right?
I would say off of
he would have to fight like Oliveira.
Entertainment-wise, people would be like, fuck it. Like, Dustin versus Ilya, he's got a shot, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie to you.
Dope.
He's got a shot. I will tell you right now, I think Ilya would still be that confident dude that's be like, I'm going to knock him out. But I also know Ilya knows he's got that other gun behind him that's like, I'm going to just wrestle you, bro. Yeah. Like, I seen the path to victory. I'm going to take it. But I don't know. I think he retires either which way.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll pick up some, like, boxing exhibition fights or something like that afterwards.
Especially with all these new guys coming in.
But he don't really care, bro. We saw him fight the BSDs. Like, he doesn't really care, bro. He really is with it. Like, he's, like, obviously... Money, title shots, that's the name of the game. But he's a dog. He's willing to scrap with whoever it may be. He's willing to go in there, and he's willing to leave it all in that octagon and walk out, win or draw. At least he gave everything he did. I think with Dustin, though, I'd rather him fully retire, fully step away. I hate the whole shit of, like, I'm going to retire and then immediately come back. I think it's stupid.
They do it too much.
Like... Aldo kind of upset me with it, with the
whole
thing.
That was too crazy.
I think with me, it's just more so, Dustin, go out there, give it everything you physically have in you, and then after that, put those gloves down, and you just walk out.
Legendary.
Legend, bro. Like, at this point, like, Hall of Fame for sure. Yeah. I know that the GOAT talk and whatever is not going to be there, but GOAT for the BMF, if you ask me, you know what I'm saying? Like,
greatest of all time is not... It's only going to be one. Not everybody can be that guy.
And I'll tell you right now, some of the most exciting fights I've seen in the UFC have been with him. The Conor McGregor trilogy. You have him versus Khabib, him versus Islam, him and Justin. I think this him versus Max for the third time is also going to be a scrap. Obviously, you go back and you watch the first two. They're really good. Him versus Dan Hooker pops up on my feed at least once a week. That's one that you can't not skip that.
Yeah.
It's Apex, no crowd. You hear all the thuds. It's so good. I think Dan Hooker's another dude that should fight for a BMF title, but I think it's going to be gone by the time he gets a shot.
Yeah, right.
But that'd be a good one, too. I think it's going to be a good card overall. Like I said, a lot of these fights is going to be some names that people aren't going to really know. I feel like I'm just going to go down them real quick. I think I got Dustin beating Max.
Yeah, me too.
I got Roman Kopylov beating Paulo Costa just because that dude been nowhere but Twitter. I swear to God, get him out of here, send him to the PFL.
Since I got hip to Paulo Costa, I haven't seen anything good in the ring from him.
It's all been really.
Like I missed his.
He is the funniest Twitter follow in the MMA space for the longest time. I feel like now though with the wins kind of disappearing, people don't really care too much about it. He was funny, but now it's just like, go over there.
Right.
I got Kevin Holland beating Daniel Rodriguez. Listen, D-Rod is really good in like certain scraps, but I feel like Kevin Holland is just too well rounded.
Yo, Kevin Holland.
He's a lock in, bro.
He's just super experienced still.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
He's at 28-13 right now. That dude has had all the fights.
Bro, like I think the craziest part is just off the last
fight.
no
contest.
Okay. I feel like he is still improving.
Yeah. Well, that's why we have this conversation all the time when it comes to we see his name at least once a month because he fights all the time.
Yeah.
He's got to lock in, bro. I understand that it's prize fighting. You're just trying to get that check and walk in. But, bro, we see there is greatness in him.
Yeah.
There is a level of,
I've seen it the past couple of fights where he's
so good. He's so good. Like, you see it shine where you're like, man, if he just, like, really was just like, all right, I'm out here for, like, legendary shit. You see a title shot there, bro. Like, he's good, man.
He definitely has a chance.
If he just locks in.
He's an exciting character, too, in a way where,
for
like,
sure. Well,
you could probably sell a good fight with him as a title
fight.
Bro,
the trash talking alone, and he also has the confidence and stuff like that. Granted, he's got, like, confidence in the sense of, like, he's going to be like, oh, I'm going to go in there and we're going to scrap. We're going to see what's up. But he's not going to be like Ilya where he's like, I'm going to go take you and do whatever. But, like, he's definitely going to be like, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to show you it all, bro. You're gonna see who's coming up on top. And he'll give you, like, that kind of talk. But I definitely think that for him, it's more so the chirping. Yeah. Like, the random shit that he be saying is really funny to me.
I like the clip of him and Rampage Jackson going back and forth.
Yeah, he's talking about, I'm pretty sure he was alluding to
yeah.
On another pod, maybe. I don't know. But he definitely, him and Rampage, I think that they're lucky that table was right there. You feel me? I think that there would have been some other words said and some things done, but we'll see how that goes. I think with him, he's just like, he's entertaining. He's a great fighter, in my opinion, in the sense of, like, he will always give you a show. Obviously, he has moments where he gets ragdolled by Hamzat, but, like, you get what you
right.
But he does cool stuff. Like, for example, when he's fighting Wonder Boy, and he's like, no takedowns. We're going to stand here. We're going to scrap. Like, that's cool. You know what I mean? He's exciting to the fans. Dan Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. I got Dan Ige in this one. Yeah. I think Patricio Pitbull, shout out to him in his career. I never really watched any of his fights. The only one I've really seen was, like, him versus Michael Chandler. Just on the older side, obviously a pickup from Bellator. I think he's a good fighter, but I don't know. I think I haven't seen anything. It's a different caliber that I've been seeing in the UFC against these other guys.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that come into the UFC that haven't impressed me yet.
No, and then when they come over, it's like you don't really see anybody that, like, pops in from another organization and they're, like, killing people. Yeah. Like, I would say, like, Michael Chandler had a really cool debut, but then after that, kind of fizzled out. Kind of went away.
Who else?
Exactly. Who else?
Yeah, who else?
If anything, you hear it the other way around. You hear former UFC fighters going over to PFL or whatever it might be, and then doing great things over
Harrison.
There. Kayla Harrison is one, but we all kind of expected that. To be fair, I feel like with her it was a little different. I think if she had popped up when Amanda was still at her peak, we would have seen it happen to her too.
Yeah,
I think she would have. I think that would have been the person she wasn't able to beat, but I think she came in at a good time. She had a good path to victory.
Right.
Not gonna say it was handed to her, but she definitely, like, didn't really have a crazy opposition. Feel me?
Yeah, right.
She had an older Holly Holm, Juliana Pena. Like, no shade, but it is what it is. Right. I mean, we're going stat for stat here. Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. That one's gonna be a scrap.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, bro. I don't know who I got in that one.
I don't know who got that.
Michael Johnson is one of those, I'm going to knock you out or I'm going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
And I love those guys because it's like, either which way you're going to get a great fight. And then Daniel Zellhuber is a great striker. I don't know if you remember
He's from Mexico, right?
Yeah, we did the... No. I think he's something else. I don't think he's Mexican. Let me see. Golden Boy. But he was the one that, like, we watched, like, the Noche UFC card, and we were both just like, who is this dude, bro?
Yeah.
Because he has great... Oh, actually, he's Mexican. Great striking, dynamic. If you want to see the spinning kicks and things like that, that's somebody you want to tune in for sure. I think, like I said,
I guess
if you're a fan of the
sport,
you guys Hoover, right? Yeah. If you're a fan of the sport, there are a lot of really cool names on here and a lot of fights are going to be great. I'm gonna tell everybody here, it's not the best attractive looking pay-per-view on like when you're looking at the names if you don't really know who these people are. But if you tune in again, watch it how you gonna watch it.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch it how I'm gonna watch it. Y'all watch it how y'all gonna watch it.
Yeah, whatever that may mean to you personally. It's gonna be a great fight. I think it's gonna be a good fight.
I think it's gonna be a great card.
I think it's weird because it's like I said, it's like a fight night, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little bit more on that. I think for the most part, it's gonna feel like a fight night up until that last one. When I hear, I'm intrigued now. If he's gonna do the whole thing, he's gonna walk out to shine bright like a diamond, and then it's gonna turn into James Brown. But
man.
We'll see, man.
I don't want him to retire.
It's hard, bro. Like you don't want to see it, but you want to see it. Like it's tricky when it comes to Dustin, man. It's like for me at this point, I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. I think so far it looks like he's managed to go for the most part unscathed. Like I haven't really heard any crazy injuries from him. Yeah. He got the McGregor money. He's got his own businesses now. I've seen him
in commercials recently too.
So I'm saying he's in almost every Bud Light and Jose Cuervo commercial the UFC got at this point. Yeah. I think he's doing all right, and I want to see him just kind of ride off into the sunset and be happy. Obviously, I think he'll get that itch here and there, but I don't know.
I can see him holding a microphone.
I could see him doing that too. I mean, I think he's going to be one of those guys that the UFC gives an opportunity to like come back to the desk afterwards for sure, and just kind of keep working with them. So that'd be cool to see. I love when they do that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's like a way to keep the fighters still involved, especially when they're like fan favorites and such. And he's got good insight. For the most part, the times where I've seen him he hasn't been like obviously like an announcer, but he's on like the commentator desks that are in like the back in the studios and whatnot. And when they break down some of the fights, like he has good perspective in the sense of like, it's one thing like obviously you're a fighter, you know what the hell you're doing, but like, can you then translate it to me who don't know?
Yeah.
Let's see how you do.
I see what you're saying.
Sometimes I listen to people and I'm like, I have no idea what he said, but he said it so great, it's cool.
Yo,
but then sometimes I'm like,
just a little.
Just a little bit. That's why I like when DC be writing down all kinds of notes on the page, but at the same time, like. DC will do very insightful tips and also very good breakdowns, and in the same breath be like, "This is what you don't want to do in front of Derek Lewis. Lay down." Shit, DC. What are you talking about? So it's funny, but like definitely I like when they're people that they give them a shot and they do well enough to like kind of translate what's going on to us as the audience. You like them, and you also like that person as a character. You want to see that going. It's like why Anthony Smith. I love him behind the desk. Yeah. In the octagon, not so much. Behind that desk, though, Anthony Smith is great.
Yeah, he's perfect, bro.
Dominic Cruz does a great job. Paul Felder. I watched that man retire, and he's out here doing his good thing. What? You blanking on Paul Felder?
No, Paul Felder. Doesn't he have a fight coming up?
No, God, no.
Didn't he just have a fight?
No, he retired like a few years ago.
Where did I just hear Paul Felder?
Yeah, he might be fighting somebody in a Target parking lot, but I don't.
I
don't think he got a fight out anytime soon. It was crazy. I was watching, and this is really off topic.
Yeah.
I know he's in this episode, but it's always funny to me when it pops up. He's in an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Is when he's young. Yo,
who?
Paul Felder.
Okay.
To see him now in the suit versus seeing him then, who he's playing himself as the UFC fighter, Paul Felder.
Yeah.
You're like, bro, this dude is jacked.
Oh,
it's crazy the difference. Like once they stop. It's not letting themselves go, but it's just a different type of like athletic build, I guess they go for. Like with him, I think he does like bike riding and shit now, so he's slimmed down. Obviously, you see him then, you're like, bro, these are two different people, bro. I don't care what you're trying to tell me right now. It's like DC, you see light heavyweight DC versus heavyweight DC versus DC, the commentator. Now you're like,
Jesus, guys, it's not the same.
DC Wabbit, but you know what I mean? But this shit's so funny to me, bro. But I hope that this fight just brings the best out of both fighters. I hope that it's nothing but respect. I know it will be. I do think if it does make it to the 5th round, we get
you have to.
You get right here. You get that moment. You get them both in the center, and we see what happens from there. I think if it ends beforehand, God, I don't know who I got money on, bro, but I feel like it's Dustin.
Yeah.
Off the strength of, for me, it's mainly off the strength of Max just cutting down to 45 and then having to come back up and then also just getting knocked out. I got to lean more towards Dustin.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to give the educated guesses
and
here.
Poirier pointing it in the beginning.
That's stupid.
I know it's stupid, but it was kind of just like, do you think that was like a little foreshadowing of what was about to happen?
I think that was him saying, if you think you're that guy, show me right away. There's no need to wait for it.
Is that like a small mental...
Yeah, for sure. All that stuff is like little nuggets they're putting in. It's even like facts. I think anything you do like that to play as best a mind game as you can, it's gonna affect the fighters in some way, shape, or form. So I feel like they do a good job at that. In the pointing right away thing, I think that's also like a little bit of a thing to get into his head a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I feel like these fighters are so interesting when they do stuff like that. It's like Derek Lewis. I like that we keep bringing it back to him.
Yeah, shout out Derek Lewis.
Shout out Derek Lewis. Him faking being injured in a fight.
Yeah.
Like stupid shit like that where he's like, oh, my eye, they get a little close. He's like, you know what I mean?
Like, a regular punch. Eye poke.
It's so funny to me, bro. But to be fair, it gets into people's heads. We were talking about him earlier, Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland be talking to people during the fights, and I really do think it throws them off their game a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, you tough. Oh, you think you got me? Da, da, da. It's not like shit talking. It's like, yo, you got a little booger in your nose. You just get that real quick. Like when he did with Buckley, it's my favorite edit because it's not how the fight fully happened. Yeah. But it's him going, you got a booger in your nose, and Buckley goes to wipe it away. He's like, good man. And then it just cuts to the part where Kevin just drops it. You're like, that's not how it happened. But boy, that is really funny. But it's moments like that where you're like, they just, you got to be locked in.
Yeah, because it gets them off their little edge. It gets them off their little...
Yeah, bro. I feel like even, like, that's why, like, also they don't like when, like, people are in their corner and people, like, yelling at them and shit like that because they're like, just let them focus on what's going on. But you don't ever know. But at the same time, the fighters are going to play their mind games. They're going to do their thing. It's like John Jones. That's his big thing. People are like, no, this is John Jones mind games. Even to this day, with the whole him and Tom thing, people think this is him playing mind games with Tom. I don't know how true that is, but who knows?
That's mad funny. Imagine like pulls back up for the UFC White House fight.
So he did go back into testing for that. Yeah. So the moment that he said he's done, he's retired. There was a whole week of people being like, "It's over, John is gone." Da, 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 da. Then we have Donald Trump that's like, "So UFC in the White House, baby, July 4th, 2026.
This is what I was looking for."
John Jones immediately, I'm gonna go right back into testing, bro.
That's all he wants is legacy fights that like.
Give him some cool stuff, bro. Have him versus Tom Aspinall. I feel like you got to stack it heavy with like U.S. fighters, so that's a little tricky.
Man, forget your rankings.
I feel like Dustin versus Max BMF title at the White House July 4th would have been a banger of a fight. That would have been a banger of a fight to have there. Louisiana versus Hawaii. Who got the money on that one, bro? That's a crazy one. We just start doing you have to be from the U.S. to be on that card. I feel like you gotta, you know what I mean? Because it's the thing is like there's so many. I was having this conversation at work the other day where I was like, bro, listen, there's so many good fights, there's so many good fighters, and boy, are most of them not from here. Like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
When Derek Lewis won, USA.
Yeah.
I've started to hear more USAs lately.
Shout out to Ricky. Ricky went to the Nashville card. Ricky was telling me that he was like, I feel like I'm in the wrong area. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He's like, bro, every time anybody brown that wasn't from the US got hit, they were cheering crazy. I was like, oh man, I don't know what to tell you about that. Just duck and hide, put a blanket over yourself. I don't know what to tell you, bro. But they was like, they were chanting USA heavy. They really weren't liking any time anybody from another place was winning. Yeah. Even with who was it? Who did Wonder Boy fight? Wonder Boy. Got it right here. It was him versus Gabriel Bonfim, Brazilian.
Okay.
They would be in like the clinch up against the fence, and if it was Bonfim on the like the power position, boo, immediately flip, and it was just like back and forth, and they just kept doing the swap. Like I don't know, man, people are funny, but I definitely think that like if you're gonna do something like that, Is it the same way of like they were gonna honor like the way they do the Noche UFC, or if they were gonna do something similar for Brazil, who has had like such an influence in the UFC? They need to do something for Brazil. Brazil needs and they go down there and they stack them with Brazilian fighters, but they need to have like something like that for Brazil, dedicated for them.
Let me hear like the history of Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I understand because of like the sphere and everything like that, but like, so obviously it's here in the U.S., but they did it for Mexico, so why not get the sphere and this time do one for like Brazil? I'll be honest with you, I think that those are the two, obviously I think U.S., Mexico, and Brazil seem to have the most influence for the UFC. Now we're getting like Russia and things like that are starting to pop up, but I would argue like, I think that you would have to do a little bit of a look through, but I think there's most nationality-wise, I think it's Brazilian. I think it's the heavy presence for the most part. Too. I think Russian
since the beginning too. Since the Gracies laid the groundwork for this, like
and you see it of multiple different styles. It's not just jiu-jitsu. So like, I feel like you got to show them some respect and some love and do some stuff over there. The same way they're about to have this 4th of July stuff. I feel like it'd be cool to see that kind of like represented a little bit more. But man, we ain't got no American champions. We got.
I'm surprised there's nobody from Thailand. Like Muay Thai, like
I think that there's a couple people that like
people go to Thailand to train Muay Thai, but
you know what it is that the ones that train Muay Thai, they usually I feel like stay within Muay Thai, and you'll see them in like one championship and stuff like that, but you don't see them come over because the thing is you have to remember it's mixed martial arts. You got to learn a whole other set of shit. Because like those stand up strikers only do so well, and then the moment they go up against a wrestler, it's over, bro. It's over.
Here comes Islam, fucking.
Yeah, I know. Like, literally.
No chance.
It's so funny, bro. It's like that meme with Moicano where they show him like him on the mic. He goes, "I don't want hard fights. I want easy fights, bro. This guy easy fight. This guy easy fight. All these guys give me easy fights. I want easy money." Next fight, him versus Islam. Like, God, bro. Right. You're like sending the Grim Reaper to come in here and clean up house, bro. What the hell happened? It's so funny to me, bro. You gotta do your best here. You can. All right, guys. I think we've ran out of time here. Not really, but I think we've tied enough. All right. So UFC 318 is this weekend. Yes, I will be publishing this episode as soon as I can. Thank you guys for watching. Obviously, like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's get those followers up. We're on Instagram, Twitter. I'm not making a Facebook. I should probably make a TikTok. We're on YouTube. Let's see. What else? Spotify, Apple Podcast. Now for shout out 806 The Show. Shout out Nerd Gods. Shout out to Vibe Entertainment. Let's see. Big shout out, and I want to give this as a public message to everybody and their grandmother, whether you are casually watching this, if you are deeply involved in this, if you love the sport, if you don't know anything about it, everybody and their grandmother, go show love and support to Ben Askren.
Oh, yeah.
Double lung transplant. Crazy. Died 4 times and is still going. He's getting better. He's releasing videos as he's going through it. MMA legend. I know that he hasn't had the best record or whatever when you look it up. Most likely now, when you type in his name, it'll be his medical issues. I know before that, it was the flying knee with Jorge Masvidal. Might be the thing you remember him for. But you got to show love to a warrior like that, bro.
He fought Jake Paul, right?
He fought Jake Paul. You just like, you never want to see somebody put in a position like that where like,
crazy.
You know, out of nowhere, they just had this insane medical condition. So like, just go show love and support to him.
And
whatever. Just anything. Just write him a nice message. Give him likes on his post. Anything you can to just show that you support him and you love him, bro.
The progress he made in 3 days or something.
It's nuts. It's the weight he gained in those 3 days is insane. He looked like a skeleton the first time I saw him post. So now he's looking a lot healthier, and I'm happy to see it. So shout out to Ben Askren. Let's see. Shout out to Gabe behind the computer right now, doing his thing on the 1s and 2s. And other than that, shout out Justin for fighting the good fight. Hopefully we see you soon. You feel me? Hey. Not all heroes wear capes, but he sure does, bro.
He definitely does.
He definitely does.
Keeps us safe.
He definitely. Yo, watch out, bro. He does. Right now, Justin is on a roof making sure your children are safe. You guys thank him.
Yeah, right?
Cape Crusader, fucking. Anyway, guys, this has been another episode of Uneducated MMA. I'm your host of the most wanted brand. This has been REG, the BMF champion of the world. Peace. Deuce.